Good morning, everybody. We are live. It is June 2nd. Oh, we're almost done. Now think about it. We've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We're done. We're done. And then summer vacation, whatever that means, because it seems like I'm kind of on semi-summer vacation anyway. But I've been working every day, and you have too. Well, most of you. But if you need to get caught up, again, I say this every day. Well, I'm not going to give anybody an A who's not caught up. If you've got everything in, you're probably going to get an A. Nice job, okay? If you don't have everything in, you don't deserve an A. So please get everything caught up, and I can help your grade, okay? So we've got all the way until next Wednesday to get stuff in. So here we go. Let's take a look at the homework. Homework's kind of hard, and it's kind of weird, but, just, just try. So all you got to do is just try. Here's what I have for answers. Number one, yeah, they're true by angle, side. You can see the angle, side. Number two, it's by the angle, side, angle. You can see that. 3, we're going to say no because there is not a side angle. Or oh gosh, that's the bad one, right? So no. Number 4, by angle, side, yes. 5, we can say if you draw them out, you've got an angle, side. 6, they don't match up. If you draw it out, this side doesn't correspond to this side. If the angles correspond, then you'd need the side to be here or here. So it doesn't match up. So that's a no. Number 7, here's my proof. We got the given. Because we got a bisector, we're going to say this angle is equal to this angle, and this angle is congruent to this angle. This side equals itself. The book calls that reflexive, but we can call it just equals itself. And then finally, you can say the two triangles are congruent by angle, side angle. Okay. Now this one's kind of weird. This one actually tricked me for a little bit, but then I thought, oh, wait a minute. Because what you do is you're able to prove that the angles are congruent, okay? So once you get the, no, I'm sorry, back up. You're able to say the sides are equal, okay? Sides are equal because the radius of a circle. All these sides are equal because the radius of a circle. So once you get that, then you can say the base angles are equal. That's where I almost missed it. You can say this angle, the base angles are all equal. So if the base angles are equal, then you can say this is true by angle, side, and so that's how you do that one. That one just about tricked me, but I got it. Now today, what about today? Okay, so let's take a look at today's notes. Okay, so if you were in class, we'd all shout out what CPCTC means. Okay, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, ready? CPCTC. Congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, what the heck does that mean? Well, I mean, if you had any two triangles that are congruent, right? Just draw a picture, right? If I knew they were congruent, terrible picture, terrible. Oh man, somebody had to get me rolled into an art class. Oh, terrible. So if they are congruent, then all their parts are congruent. So this angle would have to be congruent to this angle. This angle would have to be congruent to this angle. Vice versa, right? The corresponding sides would have to be congruent, right? Corresponding sides would have to be congruent. Corresponding sides. So if they're congruent. But that's the thing. What must happen first? What must happen first? Before we can do anything, we have to prove, okay, that the triangles are congruent. We've got to do that first. Okay, you have to do that. So you can't say anything about two triangles unless you know they're congruent. So first of all, let's list all the theorems that can make things congruent. Okay, so what we've been doing is we have SSS, which stands for side, side, side. We're going to use that possibly to prove two triangles are congruent. We have a side angle side. We could use that to prove two triangles are congruent. We have an angle side angle. Use that to prove two triangles are congruent. We even have an angle side. We can use that to prove two triangles are congruent. And we have a HL, which must be a right triangle to prove. So hypotenuse leg to prove. What we cannot use angle. Angle won't work, or our side angle. Remember, if you read that backwards, that's a bad word, okay? So these are the two that will not work, okay? You can't do that, okay? So let's see. If these are my ways to prove two triangles are congruent. So in example 1, okay, this is explain. Now we're not going to do a proof, we're going to explain. So what I see is two triangles. I'm going to go ahead and highlight. You see that one there in red. I like colors. And you see that one there in purple. Okay. Well, I do see an angle to an angle. I see another angle to an angle, and a side to a side. So what I have, it looks like it's angle. So I can say right off the bat that triangle, and I gotta say it. I gotta state this because I have to prove the triangle. So I'm gonna say triangle EAB is congruent to triangle. Ready? We got to go the same correspondence. EAB would have to go to ADC by, we got to say it, angle side. So that has to happen first. It just did. Okay, so now the triangles are congruent. So then finally I would say, okay, well, EB, and EB is here. So EB has to be congruent to AC because they correspond. And I'm going to say by, you ready? Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Boom. Okay. All right, let's look at example 2, okay? Prove A is congruent to D. So what I can do is I already know that AD is congruent to DC. I know this angle here, angle ACB, is congruent to angle DCB, but I also know that they also share this side. So I can say that BC is congruent to BC. Book calls that reflexive. Basically, it equals itself. And then I can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DBC. That's how I correspond the angles together. And then that is by side, angle, side. So once I've proven that, okay, I have to say that, then I can say that angle A is congruent to angle D by CPCTC, or corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay? All right, I'm not going to do all of these because you guys can take a look at this. So let's look at number 5, okay? So number 5. I kind of like this problem because if I wanted to know what the length is from here to here, that's a pond. I'm not going to walk it. I don't know how big the pond is. Maybe I could throw a rope all the way across, but that would be a good throw. I could walk maybe all the way around with a rope, but no. But if I could just measure this side right here, if I could just find JL, right? If I could find the length of JL, I can walk that, or I could probably use a string or tape measure. That I can measure. If I can get that, then I can get MN, right? So, went and measured JL, I know that I can get ML. How do I know the two triangles are congruent? Well, I know that this side is equal to that side. I know this angle is equal to this angle. And believe it or not, I know one more thing. I know this angle here is equal to that angle there. So I'm going to say right off the bat that angle MKN is congruent to angle LKJ. LKJ by vertical angles. Okay. So then, if that's the case, I know the two triangles are congruent. So I know the triangle MKN is congruent to triangle LKJ. So I know that this triangle, oops, wrong color, come here, this triangle is congruent to this triangle by, let's see what to do it. Looks like it's by angle, side, angle. Angle, side, angle. By angle, side, angle. So then I can say that JL is congruent to MN by corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So therefore, if that's true, then what I can do is measure this, and I'll have that. Okay, 6 DE. Can I find DE? Well, sure. I've got if I use 180 degrees, I think I can probably get this angle here. Use my calculator. Let's see. All right. Let me do that real quickly. 180, 180 minus. Let's see. 84 plus 52. 84 plus 52, and I get an answer of about 44. And so this angle's got to be 84. So by side angle side, these two triangles are congruent. So this side has got to be 5. Okay, so homework for today, okay? We're going to go to page 356. We're going to do 1 to 6 all. There's some kind of proofs. Remember, all I want you to do is try the proofs. You don't have to be perfect. They will not be on your test, but, you know, it's good to see them anyway. So if I go to that page, let me show you how we do it. So I wanted to do number 6 with you. Okay, so explain. You don't have to do a proof, but first you have to say why the triangles are congruent. There's vertical angles right there. Tell me what theorem. You've got to show me which one of these theorems it is, and then you can use your corresponding parts. Congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, same thing, and even 5. Now 6 is a little bit tougher, and I want to do 6 with you. Okay, so first of all, number 1 on our given, we've got a bisect an angle. So we've got that ray AD bisects angle BAC. That's my given. Okay, in any proof, write down your evidence first. Okay, now it wants to know about these triangles. So I'm going to actually draw these triangles out. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw. Okay, so I'm going to make the triangles. There's my triangle there. Man, I'm just not drawing very straight these days, am I? There's my triangle there. Okay, so what I'm really trying to prove is that these two triangles are congruent. So then I can use corresponding parts of congruent triangles, okay, to show that this angle is congruent to that angle. Okay, so here's my proof, okay? Step 2. I know that BD has to be congruent. Oh, let's back up. Let's say AB. Let's say AB. I know AB has to be congruent to AC. And that's part of my construction, okay? Right? We'll do my little thing right here. Okay, that's 2. That's part of my construction. Okay? So I've got that side equal to that side. I also know when I did this, I knew that step 3, that BD is congruent to DC. And that, again, that's by my construction, right? That's by my construction. So I've got this side equal to that side. And then, obviously, AD is equal to itself, right? So 4AD is congruent to AD. That is the reflexive property, but we just say, you know, has to equal itself is fine with me, but I'm going to say reflexive because that's correct. Okay, then finally, what do I have? Well, if I look at my triangles, I've got triangle ABD has to be congruent to triangle ADC, right? They have to be congruent by the 3 things. What are the 3 things? Side, side, side. So that's my 5th step. I'm going to say that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle ACD by, what are the 3 things? Side, side, side. So then once the 2 triangles are congruent, I can say anything about them because they have corresponding parts. So we're going to go straight to step 6. We're going to say angle BAD, the bad angle, is congruent to angle, funny, CAD. And that is step 6. And what is that? Gosh almighty, my pen's going to die just in the nick of time, just as school ends. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Get this done. Do your best. Proofs are kind of weird. We will not have proofs on your next test, but it's okay to see them. Okay?